Hello again, everyone. This video is going to take us into assembling the crankshaft, which will be considered a sub-assembly of the whole frog. So I've got the frog assembly down here. We're going to create a crankshaft assembly. This part studio that we worked on before has all of the parts, one of each of the parts that we need for the crankshaft. What's important about the part studio is it has exactly one of each. This greatly simplifies the changes that we might have to make later. So since if we want to make a change to this crank arm, we can just come to the part studio, crankshaft parts, and we can change it here. The assembly is going to have two of these. So finding out where the original crank arm was in the assembly is a little more difficult. Well, actually, they're going to be just what I call instances of this one. So in parametric CAD, it's very nice to have just one of the original parts to find and change. So let's go ahead and I actually want to finish this up. This is a new thing we learned last time. I actually don't even have to click Shift here. I can click on the mouse and it'll show my two. Right click and then add selection to folder. This will create a snug washer folder. Now I have all three of my parts and all of the steps here. We talked about making fewer part studios. The upside of having fewer part studios is you have less to look at the bottom here. The downside is if you look through your history, versions in history of all the changes, it's a little hard to find all the changes. Now that we've grouped them all, it's a little easier. Created these kind of folders. We can now see where we made changes to each part, but they can get mixed up, especially if we went and made a change to the dowels. It's still showing the history of all these parts, but there could be interchange. So that's something to keep aware of when you're doing bigger drawings, bigger projects, that you might not want to have too many parts in a part studio unless they're all very related. Sometimes you will need them. Derived parts we've talked about before. That's a way to split things between part studios. Also remember, always you need to include your global dimensions feature script so you get your variables. So let's go over to the new assembly. So let's create a new assembly. That's going to be down here on the left. I'm going to create a assembly. I'm going to name it right away so we can find it later. Rename this to crankshaft. I've also added this little text pop-up so you can see what I'm typing, and the mouse right clicks as well. So we're going to insert the parts from the part studio that we just created. We're going to choose crankshaft parts. Now if we click here, it's going to put them all in. Let's do one at a time so we can add multiples. Crank arm, there's a crank arm right there. We need two of those, so we'll put another one right here and just kind of space them out. We need a long dowel, just one of these, and we need two short dowels. Put one over here, and then how about another one kind of over here. Kind of arrange them close to how we're going to assemble them. We need a snug washer. It's going to go onto the end of this one, and another snug washer all the way over here. So that's all of the parts we need for one crankshaft. Once you're done, click the green check mark, and we can see these parts. Now we want to assemble these. We're going to use mates. This is a these parts do not move relative to each other. They're all fastened together using a fastened mate. And just to explain some of the arrows on these, notice the fastened mate has no arrows. That means it locks all of what are called the degrees of freedom and prevents the parts from moving relative to one another. So that's a fasten, it's gluing them together. This one, revolute, is going to allow it to rotate in 1 degree of freedom. So it's going to rotate just around, so it cannot slide. We'll be using the cylindrical mate, which is like the revolute mate, except it allows parts to move up and down. So we'll explore that more. But the important thing to note now is the fasten mate has no degrees of freedom. There's also a tip there. Use the shift key to maintain visibility as you're making parts. I'll try and use that to show you that. That's a handy thing to do. So let's go and let's start putting this together. If we look at our document, our frog document, and we can see how it's assembled. We have a snug washer, short dowel, crank arm, long dowel. Let's go and put those together. Let's put the snug washer on the end, and let's grab our fasten mate. Let's show an Alt key. It's not doing Alt anymore. So let's go and put it on the end of here. So we're going to fasten that end, and we want it to go all the way in there, and we can click that. We're going to put the it's giving us another fasten mate to help speed us along since we're fastening everything. We'll just keep going. I want to fasten that to there. And then notice if it doesn't move it, you can click solve and it'll move the other part before you finish your fasten. So that looks right. So we're going to finish that. And we're going to continue right on to fasten again. We're going to now put the end of this crank dowel into the crank. Oops. Left click, not right click. Okay, and we'll keep going here. And another fasten. To do it, let's put this one here into this side here. And we'll click solve. It'll show us what it looks like. That looks right. We can, and notice this says commit current and start a new one. This one here is going to finish it all. So that's why clicking on this one starts a new mate, which is very handy. So we're going to start a new mate. And there we go. Okay, we'll just keep working our way down. This one is going to go here. Did I get that right? No. Not. If I did that wrong, if I've named my parts, it's easy to, which one did I get wrong? I got the one on the crank arm wrong, so I'm going to redo that one. Now here's that shift key command, hold down shift. I have my part selected, and now I can move things around. No? Well, I got it there. That's where I want it. So let's do one more. I'm going to grab this. Grab this one right here and put it there. And let's solve it. It looks right. And we're going to click this one since we're all done. Okay, that is what we call our crank shaft. All the pieces are together. So this crank shaft is now an assembly, which we can use in another assembly. So notice this shape here and this shape are similar. When we put one assembly inside of another, we call it a sub-assembly. We can actually have sub-assemblies within our assemblies as well. We can look at that in a future assembly. That wraps this video. Next video, we'll begin to assemble in the frog assembly.